Hello friend, how are you doing today? My name is Mary and this is Happily Ever Esch, and today I am doing the Cozy Christmas book. This tag was created by Call Me After Coffee. She is a booktuber who I recently just discovered and I have been binging all of her videos. She just has a sweet and cozy vibe. She has two adorable children and she's just been so much fun to watch. So I hope that if you are not subscribed to her, you will go and check her channel out because like I said, she's just a lot of fun and she created this cozy tag. I loved the questions, so let's just hop on in. Question number 1 is Twinkling Lights. What is the most beautiful book that you own? And I have a couple because I couldn't just pick one. Probably a recent buy and my most beautiful book that I own is this Rifle Paper Company edition of Anne of Green Gables. I just think it's like every bit of it is so lovely and so thoughtful, but also I think what makes this book even more beautiful is the story inside. I read Anne of Green Gables this year, probably my favorite book of the year, if I'm being honest, and I just think it's a beautiful edition, but I think it's so much more beautiful to me because I love the story inside. So yes, isn't it just lovely? Another Ella Montgomery that I haven't read but I think is also beautiful is this edition of Emily of New Moon. I just think it's so whimsical. Again, it's just like every little detail. This is published by Tundra Books. I get these, or I have gotten them off of Book Outlet, and every so often I'll just go on to see if they have any of these Tundra editions, just because I think they are so lovely of the Ella Montgomery books. Ella Montgomery is definitely an author that I want to read most of their work. Just something I think for the rest of my life I will treasure and savor Ella Montgomery's writing. And then last but certainly not least is this edition of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, another one that I haven't read, but just, I love the books that like kind of have that wraparound detail, and then just the flowers are so lovely. So this is definitely another beautiful book, one of the most beautiful books that I own. Question number 2. The perfect tree. Will you pay more for a pretty edition of a book? And I think the answer to that is it depends. I am a huge secondhand bookstore shopper, so I very much tend to pick up what I find. And so if there's an option of buying the prettier edition at the bookstore and it was maybe a couple more dollars secondhand, I would choose like the nicer edition or the prettier edition. But I do think kind of my exception to the rule is books that I've read and loved, or classics. So I think that kind of goes here. Like I had another edition of Anne of Green Gables, but I upgraded to this beautiful one. I've read Anne Bronte's other work and really loved it, so when I bought this one I knew I wanted a pretty copy. So I think it really just depends, because I buy so much secondhand. If it's there and it's cheap, I'll probably buy that, but there are certain copies that I tend to, once I've read them, spend a little more money. Question or challenge 3, build a snowman. Show us a festive book stack. I've seen some pretty creative ones. Krista actually made a book snowman. It was really cute. I tried to go for a little ombre, so we'll see. Did I succeed? The white to the red. Oh! Okay. There we go. So at the top I have Poison Study, then Sanctuary by William Faulkner, The Hate You Give by Angie Thompson. There's Revolutionary Road, The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I have The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Where the Crawdads Sing. I've got Rebecca, and then A Constellation of Vital Phenomena, and I'm trying not to tip them over, but yeah, Smell Ombre book stack. There you have it. Okay, question number 4. Crackling Fire. What book makes you feel warm and cozy? And I have to go with any sort of mystery story, in particular the Louise Penny series, This Is How the Light Gets In. Hers are very cozy because the setting in Three Pines just is so warm and just gives you all of those warm, cozy vibes. But really mysteries, that's just, I don't know, there's something about mysteries that make me feel warm and cozy. I tend to want to read mysteries more in the winter time. Question 5, knee-high socks. What's the longest book you've ever read? I can't say this is definitively the longest book that I've ever read, but the one that I've read in the last couple years is definitely Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. It is a beast of a book, about 650 pages. So I loved this. I think it's worth every single page and every single bit of your time. And honestly though, looking at the 650 pages, that's a lot of pages, but not the most. So maybe that should be a goal in the new year, is to try to read a book longer than this. I always feel like long books, they, you know, a time commitment, but you always, there's something so satisfactory about it when you finish them. Okay, question number 6, ugly sweater. What is the ugliest book you own? I did not have to think hard about that. It's definitely The Man Who Loved Children by Christina Stead. She's an Australian author, and this is somewhat of a classic piece of work, but and I'm sure this is classical art, but I don't love it. I don't love the colors, and yeah, just like they look sad. And honestly, I've done some more research about this book, and I don't know if it's one that I'm even going to keep and read, but the cover does not help in wanting to read it, just because I don't think it's pretty. Okay, question number 7, blizzards. A book set in the winter or a book that has dark themes, gives you the chills. I went for a book that is set in the wintertime. I actually have 2 books because I'm a big fat cheater today. The first of those being The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is just a cold, Russian, wintry read. I think it's perfect for this time of year, and even like the cover is glorious, gloriously wintry. And then also Rules of Civility by Amar Towles. This starts out in the new year in New York City, and there's something about that just feels so cold and wintry. It ends up following the characters throughout the whole year, so it's not all set in the winter time, but something about that initial setting just makes this feel like a winter book to me, even though, like, look at her in this like lounge chair, like it does not look very wintry. But yes, that setting always just makes me feel like it's a cold, wintry type book. And then question 8, home for the holidays. This is a question for all the rereaders out there. What book makes you feel like going home? Not a huge rereader. It is something that I've done more the past couple years than I have ever in my whole life before. But the book that I'm currently rereading, and it has made me realize how much it feels like home, is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I love Elizabeth Gaskell's writing. This book, in my personal opinion, kind of does it all. There's a good storyline, there's some family drama, there's romance, there's social commentary. It's all the things, and I love it. And it's one that I think I will reread for the rest of my life and enjoy. Another one is also Jane Eyre. I've reread that book multiple times, and it just feels so cozy and warm and enveloping. There's something about revisiting characters, and those are 2 that do it for my heart. So I'm kind of out of the booktube game on tagging people. I think that Krista tagged April at Getting Hugga with it. I would love to see her do this. Also Bree at Bree Hill, if she hasn't done this tag yet, I'd love to see her do it. And I might tag some other people down in the comments below. I need to go check and see who's done the tag, and I'll tag some people. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having a warm and cozy day, and I hope that this tag added some coziness to it. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.